On the 23rd of December 2014, arguably the greatest FIFA of all time was released, FIFA 15. And to think this game is now more than a decade old is just crazy, because it feels like yesterday I was literally just grinding this game out every single day. And to be honest, it's arguably still better than the FIFAs we have today, which is insane. But to be honest, when I look back at a game like FIFA 15, for me personally, and for a lot of people as well, genuinely might be the best FIFA of all time, just based off of all the memories I've had around it. And now, of course, there are other FIFAs that are up there with being some of the best, of course. FIFAs like FIFA 13, FIFA 14, and even FIFA 17 were some of my personal favourites. But for me personally, there was just something about FIFA 15 and the memories it brought back that just makes it just super nostalgic. And like I said, this game was released a whole decade ago, and when you compare it to the FIFAs now, it doesn't actually feel like much has changed. And to be honest, if anything, it's maybe probably got a bit worse. And I saw a clip the other day comparing FIFA 15 gameplay to FC 25 gameplay, and honestly the FIFA 15 gameplay just looked so much more simple and better. And now in terms of the game modes that were in FIFA back then, it was still the same as it is now. We still had things like Ultimate Team, Career Mode, and of course Pro Clubs. But the thing that differs between the two is that 10 years ago, things like Ultimate Team, Career Mode, and Pro Clubs were kind of new, kind of fresh concepts to FIFA. And now 10 years later, the whole thing is still the same. Nothing's really been updated. Yes, Ultimate Team has obviously changed a little bit, but not for the better in my opinion. Things like Career Mode especially, I mean, they've just been completely abandoned. And one thing that FIFA 15 had that just seemed to vanish from every other FIFA was Matchday Live, which for me was just a really cool extra feature. And was just a hub which showed you pretty much everything, stats from different leagues, different league tables, top scorers, player news, everything, for literally every single league in the world. It was almost like having your own Sky Sports news on FIFA. And even things like the catalogue as well was just a really smart feature in my opinion, where you could get rewarded for how well you were doing on the game. You were able to buy things like for Career Mode or Ultimate Team or customization, whatever it was. It was just an efficient way of rewarding players. And even things like Career Mode at the time was super fun, and for me personally, I actually probably played more Career Mode than I did Ultimate Team in FIFA 15, because it was just fun and rewarding to play. And you compare that to the FIFAs now, and nothing has really changed, at least in the Career Mode aspect. I know there's like a little bit more detail to it, but there's never really been a significant sort of update. And after a while, it just eventually gets boring, because you're doing the same thing again and again and again. Even things like just the layout of the Career Mode in FIFA 15 was so much more simpler and cleaner than compared to what we have now in FC 25. Even things like the soundtrack as well, FIFA 15 was just amazing with so many throwback songs on there. Not to mention Ultimate Team in FIFA 15 as well was just so fun. And the thing is, there weren't even things like SBCs or FUT Champions back then, which is crazy to say now, because it's pretty much an essential part of all modern FIFA games. Like, I couldn't imagine now a FIFA without FUT Champs or anything like SBCs. Don't get me wrong, I think SBCs and FUT Champs have been good features. They've been implemented well, and they are kind of fun. Not fun, but they're good features. But even without these essential core features of Ultimate Team, FIFA 15 Ultimate Team was still the best Ultimate Team experience I've had in any FIFA. Because unlike the FIFAs now, the content was kept at a minimal. Which might sound dumb, but in my own personal opinion, less is more. I was going through all the FIFA promos from FIFA 15, and there was literally hardly any promos. But when there were promos, they were good promos. And to be honest, I think that's better, because something that bugs me about modern FIFA is there's just boring, mind-numbing content constantly being pushed out, and it just makes you bored as a player. These constant release of promos that gives everyone a maxed out squad within a week of playing the game just makes the game just so flat and boring. Whereas in FIFA 15, it was very rare to have such an insane card, or even pack an insane card. And we were forced to rely on these cheap gold cards, which gave us some of the best, most overpowered gold cards in FIFA history. If you've played the game, I'm sure most of you know about Javinho, Ebabo, Dombia. They were absolutely insane, but my personal favourite was Biabani. I mean, just look at these stats: 96 pace, 82 dribbling. He was just an insane card to use at the time. Even his shot being 66 didn't even feel like an issue back then. And just through the fact that we had to figure out which cheap gold cards were best, just made the game so much more fun and more competitive, and a lot more balanced in my opinion, because you weren't coming up against these maxed out squads within the first few weeks of release. Even the fun little promos, the things like St. Patrick's Day footies, and even just Team of the Week informed was such a big thing at the time, I remember. And actually packing any of these sort of cards, if you even managed to get that luck, was such a big deal at the time in a game like FIFA 15. Like, I can remember getting so hyped about packing the most basic inform cards, but because you'd actually be able to sell these cards for a decent price or even use them in your team. Whereas now, because all of the promos have just been thrown at us, these cards are quite literally just trash, just plain and simple fodder for your next SBC, or you'll just quick sell them. The gameplay as well in FIFA 15, honestly, I genuinely think it's probably better than the gameplay now, and I'm not even saying that just from a point of nostalgia. Like, I genuinely think so. Like I said, less is more, and on FIFA 15 the gameplay was just simple and realistic. Whereas in modern FIFAs, all these new intricate gameplay features that have been added over time have just created a super buggy game that people get really frustrated with loads of overpowered glitches, things like AI defending, input delay. It just creates a really slow and unresponsive game in comparison to FIFA 15, which was just so much more, like I said, simplistic and easy to play, and it actually required skill to beat opponents, not just making use of glitches to your own advantage. And the game just felt so much more balanced. Like, I could play games constantly, whereas now if I play FIFA, I probably can't even play 5 games in a row without getting frustrated. And even the YouTube FIFA scene during FIFA 15 for me was the best it had ever been. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was on this game, creating fun content and enjoying the game, because packing these cards was good. There wasn't really such thing as fodder, and actually packing something like a team of the season or even an icon was something that was extremely rare, and you were extremely lucky to even get the worst icon on the game. And it felt like all my favourite YouTubers at the time were just constantly making funny and entertaining content for this game, because it was just overall enjoyable. They weren't just playing the game because they necessarily had to. The game genuinely brought a lot of joy to a lot of people and kind of brought the EA community together. And for me, like I said, FIFA 15 for me personally has always and will always be the best FIFA of all time, because the memories I have attached to the one game are just priceless. But what do you guys think about FIFA 15? Is it truly the best FIFA of all time, or am I just looking at it with rose tinted glasses? And the thing is, some of you watching this might not have even played FIFA 15, which just makes me feel so old. But yeah, let me know what you think the best FIFA of all time is, and do you think FIFA has actually got better, or has it actually regressed? Let me know what you think, and be sure to like and subscribe if you're new around here, because it always helps. And thanks for watching. This has been Discussing Ball.